For 15 years, people have been asking the wrong question about Inception. Does the top fall? Is Cobb dreaming? What does the ending mean? The movie already answered this for us, definitively. We've just been looking at the wrong object. And I can prove it. Not with speculation or Nolan intended this arguments, I'm talking about actual text of the film, the rules it establishes, and the evidence it puts on screen. Early in this movie, Arthur explains exactly how totems work. He lays out specific rules, and when you actually listen to what he says, you realize something that changes everything. Cobb's spinning totem violates every single one. The top is broken. It cannot verify reality. It never could. But that's only the half of it. Once you know the top is useless, you start looking for what actually tracks reality in this film. And there's an object that appears in every single scene, one that follows Arthur's rules perfectly, one that gives us a definitive answer to the ending. His wedding ring. Now hold on, I know what some of you are thinking. The ring theory was debunked years ago. But I've seen those arguments and those Reddit posts, and I'm going to show you exactly why they're wrong.
See, only I know the balance and the weight of this particular loaded die. That way when you look at your totem, you know beyond a doubt that you're not in someone else's dream.
Weight, balance, and secrecy. Cobb's totem fails every test. Arthur is the point man. Logistics and planning. When he explains something, it's the operating manual for this universe. So when Ariadne asks about totems, Arthur pulls out a red die.
You need a small object, potentially heavy, something you can have on you all the time that no one else knows.
Ariadne reaches for it and Arthur pulls back immediately.
I can't let you touch it, that would defeat the purpose.
The totem must have a physical property you can feel, a weight, a balance, and maybe a center of gravity. Arthur's die is loaded. It looks normal, but in his hand, he knows exactly how it should feel and how it should fall. The verification is sensation, not observation. No one else can touch it. No one else can know the secret. The moment someone handles your totem, they can replicate those properties in a dream. And the totem tells you if you're in someone else's dream. If Ariadne builds a world for Arthur, she'll populate it with normal dice, standard physics, random rolls. But Arthur's die won't behave correctly because she doesn't know it's loaded. That discrepancy alerts him to the simulation. It's a simple system, elegant even. Now, let's watch Cobb destroy it. Arthur's totem works because the secret is internal, the weighting, you feel it in your hand. An architect can make a die that looks identical, but they can't replicate the exact density distribution without handling the original. But Cobb's top, the tell is whether it falls or spins over. It's observation, not sensation. The top is a one-way test. It can detect magic. If it spins forever, you're definitely dreaming. But it cannot authenticate the mundane. Any competent architect understands gravity. Any competent architect would build a dream where standard physics apply. Tops spin, friction acts on them, they wobble and they fall. If Ariadne wanted to trap Cobb, she would just simulate normal physics. The top would eventually fall, Cobb would see it topple and conclude that he's awake. A falling top is inconsistent with reality and a well-designed dream. The top creates false negatives by design. It can confirm a dream, but it cannot confirm reality. Remember, Arthur wouldn't let Ariadne touch his die, but Cobb, he explains his totem's entire mechanism to Ariadne, the architect of the Inception job.
This one was hers. She'd spin it in the dream and would never topple. Spin and spin.
He literally just told the architect exactly how to fool him. Infinite spinning means dream. Fall means reality. Now she can build any dream she wants, simulate normal physics, and Cobb will never know the difference. But it gets worse, because in the opening scene, Elder Saito doesn't just handle the top, he picks it up, spins it himself. And listen to what he says.
I know what this is. I've seen one before. Many years ago. It belonged to a man I met in a half-remembered dream.
Saito remembers the totem from Limbo. The object isn't merely physically compromised, it exists in Saito's memory now. If Saito ever became an architect, or if he's the one holding Cobb in a future dream, he can recreate that top perfectly from his own recollection. The totem has no secrets left.
Smalls, actually. This one was hers.
So the totem actually belonged to his dead wife, the woman whose projection haunts every corner of his subconscious. Mal is more than a memory. She's a projection, a piece of Cobb's subconscious given form. Projections have access to the subject's knowledge. If Cobb knows the weight of that top, the balance, the exact way that it spins, Mal knows it too. The totem has no secrets from the enemy because the enemy is himself. The top can confirm a dream. It cannot confirm reality, and Cobb's own mind can manipulate it either way. So why does Cobb use a broken totem? He inherited it from Mal, he explained it to Ariadne, he let Saito handle it. At every turn, he compromises the device that's supposed to protect him. But this isn't carelessness. Cobb doesn't want a foolproof test, he wants the ambiguity. Part of him wants to stay in the dream with Mal. The broken totem reflects a broken psyche. He spins the top not to verify reality, but to touch something that was hers. It's a ritual, a way to keep her close. The top measures grief, not gravity. But that does raise a question. If Cobb's conscious reality testing is compromised, is there anything that actually tracks the truth? So here's the thing about proving a 15-year-old movie theory wrong. You can't just say the top is broken and walk away. You have to show your work. You have to go frame by frame, scene by scene, with both hands. 24 separate moments cataloged and cross-referenced takes hours, and those hours happen right here at this desk. This is the FlexiSpot E7 Pro, premium standing desk, mahogany top. And yes, I did choose the finish specifically because it looks like the table Cobb spins his totem on. I'm not above theming my workspace to match my conspiracies. It has 4 memory presets. I've got one for sitting, one for standing, one for I've been scrubbing through the same scene for 3 hours looking for a wedding ring, and one for the theory fell apart and I need to bang my head against something sturdy. It has a 440-pound weight capacity. It can take it. It's an ergonomic desk with a dual motor system that adjusts from 25 inches all the way up to 50.6 inches. But here's the thing. Cobb's totem is broken because it tests the wrong thing. Observation instead of sensation. But this desk, when I'm standing at 2 a.m. cross-referencing the Mombasa chase against every other reality scene and my back doesn't hurt, that's how I know I'm awake. That's my totem. It's tactile, personal. Arthur would approve. FlexiSpot backs it with a 15-year warranty and a 30-day risk-free return. Use code YTE730 for $30 off at FlexiSpot.com. Links in the description if you want to buy one. And now, back to the ring. I have watched this movie frame by frame, every single scene, looking for something that follows Arthur's rules. Cobb's wedding ring. In every confirmed dream sequence, Cobb wears his wedding ring. Left hand, clear as day. The Japanese castle, the Paris training session, the hotel, the snow fortress, limbo. And in every confirmed reality sequence, the ring is gone. The train after the Saito extraction, Tokyo Hotel, Mombasa, Yusuf's basement, the 747 before sedation. I checked 24 scenes. The correlation is perfect. And here's the logic of it. In reality, Mal is dead. Cobb is a widower. He doesn't wear the ring. But in dreams, his subconscious sees himself as married. Mal is alive there, as a projection, as a shade of guilt. His dream self wears the ring because his dream self hasn't let go. This is involuntary. Cobb doesn't consciously put the ring on when he enters the dream, and he doesn't consciously take it off when he wakes up. It manifests based on subconscious self-image. But he would notice. You'd feel a ring on your finger. You'd notice it appearing and disappearing. Any person with any feeling in their hands would register that change. Cobb has access to a reality test that operates independently of his choices. The top is just theater. The ring is the truth. One can be manipulated, but the other cannot. But maybe the ring can't be a totem. It doesn't have physical behavior like Arthur's die, right? We need to think about it differently. Arthur's die works through the presence of an anomaly, the hidden weight that only he knows. The ring works through absence. In reality, Cobb's finger is bare. The ring is somewhere, maybe a drawer or a safe, wherever he keeps it. On his hand, there's nothing. The absence is the tell. It's a negative space totem. Cobb knows a secret. In reality, he doesn't wear the ring. In dreams, his subconscious can't help but project it. That binary state, the presence versus absence, is far more secure than the top. The top can be compromised if someone learns the secret, But the ring isn't protected by secrecy, it's protected by the fact that the subconscious can't stop being the subconscious. But what about Mal? If she's part of Cobb's mind, wouldn't she know about the ring? Well, yes, and she can't do anything about it. The same part of Cobb that creates Mal the projection also creates the ring on his finger. They come from the same source, his refusal to accept her death. She can't suppress the ring because she's made of the same denial that puts it there. Mal wants Cobb to stay in the dream. She can't make the ring disappear because the grief that sustains her also sustains the ring. It's the same phenomenon. In reality, Cobb's conscious mind accepts he's a widower. The ring is off. His waking self-image doesn't include it. The ring isn't a tool Cobb consciously uses. It's a psychological fingerprint that operates automatically. It's incorruptible. But take a look at this scene. There's a moment in the film where Cobb has a ring on and it sure looks like reality. The team is talking on steps in a hotel lobby, planning the job. Saito says he'll buy the airline, and they're discussing the 10-hour flight to Los Angeles. But look closer. It's the middle of the day. They're in a fancy hotel. Nobody's around. The concierge desk is empty. They're having this conversation on the stairs and not a single other person comes through. And the screenplay tells us exactly what this scene is. Interior, deserted hotel lobby, day. The team sits on the steps of the large marble lobby debating. Ariadne is showing Arthur the lobby. A dream. She's demonstrating her architecture. The team is rehearsing inside a shared simulation, and they do this a few times to teach Ariadne, like with the infinite staircase scene. The ring is not a continuity error, it's confirmation. Cobb wears the ring because he's dreaming. The scene that looks like reality is actually a dream, and the ring tells us the truth even when the script doesn't announce it. Now, I've seen arguments claiming you can't confirm the ring's status in the final scene, that Nolan deliberately hides Cobb's hand. But this is false. When Cobb enters his house, he puts his hand on the back of a chair. Left hand, clearly visible. No ring. It's right here. Look, his finger is bare. It's not ambiguous. It's not hidden. It's right there on screen. The ending was never a mystery. We just weren't looking at the right evidence. The top is broken. Arthur's rules prove it. Cobb's totem is visual when it should be tactile, public when it should be private, contaminated by the one person whose projection could manipulate it, and it's a one-way test that can confirm dreams but can't confirm reality. And Cobb uses it anyway, not because it works, but because it was Mal's. The broken totem reflects the broken man. The ring operates independently of Cobb's psychology. It correlates perfectly with dream and reality states across 24 scenes. Whether Cobb consciously uses it or not, it's the truth his subconscious can't hide. Now, in the final scene, the top wobbles. Watch carefully. In dreams, we see it spin perfectly, frictionless, stable. But in the finale, it begins to precess. Precession happens when friction applies torque to a spinning object, causing its axis to shift. That wobble means the top is losing energy. Entropy is winning. The laws of thermodynamics are asserting themselves. The ring is absent. Cobb's left hand on the chair, bare finger. This is reality. Cobb walks away. For the entire film, he's been obsessed with that top, spinning it, watching it, waiting for the verdict. But in this final scene, he spins it and turns his back. He doesn't watch, and he doesn't wait. That's the real resolution. Not, is it real, but does he still need to ask? And Christopher Nolan said it himself. The point of the shot is the character doesn't care at that point. He's moved on and is with his kids. The ambiguity is not an emotional ambiguity, it's an intellectual one for the audience. The ambiguity was, for us, a puzzle to obsess over. But the movie answered its own question. The top wobbles, the ring is gone, Cobb is awake, and he's home. The ring isn't mentioned in dialogue, it's never explained, but it's visually consistent across 2.5 hours of film. And that's not an accident. Nolan makes films for rewatchers, for people who catch details on the second or third viewing. The Prestige, Memento, Interstellar, and yes, we'll be talking about all of those, so please subscribe. Nolan layers his narratives. The casual viewer sees ambiguity, but the careful viewer sees the code. And there is another theory here. Mal didn't die when she jumped off that balcony. Some fans argue Mal successfully woke up and Cobb is the one trapped in a dream for the entire film. The Mombasa chase does feel dreamlike. Saito's rescue is kinda convenient. The whole movie has a heightened unreality. And it's a compelling theory, but the ring sinks it completely. If Cobb were dreaming through the entire film, including Mombasa, the ring should be present. His subconscious self-image is married, but the ring is absent in every reality scene. So either Nolan made a continuity error across dozens of shots, or those scenes are all real. You can go back and check for yourself. Pick any scene. I logged 24. Let me know if you find a single exception. So why does Nolan end on the spinning top if it's a broken totem? Because it's not broken to Cobb. It's everything. The top isn't a scientific instrument, it's a ritual. Every time he spins it, he's not testing physics. He's asking himself, am I still holding on to her? The infinite spin is the world where they can be together. The fall is acceptance that she's gone. He uses Mal's totem not because it works, but because it connects him to her. Spinning it is the only way he can still touch something that was hers. The ring tells us he's awake, but the top tells us that he's healing. In the final scene, both things happen. The ring is gone. He's in reality. He walks away from the top before it falls. He's letting go. He's choosing his children over the question, choosing the present over the past. The top was never going to save him. The top was what was keeping him trapped. The spinning top is a lie, Cobb tells himself, but the wedding ring is the truth, Nolan tells us. Arthur gave us the rules. Cobb broke all of them. For 15 years, we've been debating a question the movie already answered. We were just watching the wrong hand. Inception's ending was never ambiguous. We just weren't paying attention. Thank you so much for watching, and click right here where I break down the Dark Knight's ending and prove that the Joker actually won.